event, and I'm very happy to share with you a session about Wikimedia Tunisia, and with a surprise at the end of this session. So I will share my screen now. So welcome everybody. So with this session, we'll talk about Tunisia and our user group. Before talking about our activities, let me present you members of Wikimedia Tunisia who are present here. So I will start with myself. I'm Habib Mhenni. I'm a Wikimedian since 2010, and I'm mainly active on Wikimedia Commons as an admin, and also I contribute in Arabic and French Wikipedia. And then,
hello everyone, I'm Selvi Turkey. I'm a Wikimedian since 2009. I started as a contributor to Wikipedia, focusing on reference support and Tunisia-related topics. Before shifting in 2019 to exclusively developing tools related to Wikidata, structured data, etc. I am an advisor at AFCOM. I am a member of the Wikimania 2022 co-organizing team, and I used to be a member of the program committee of several Wikimedia conferences we saw, such as Wikidata and Wikiconvention francophone. So in my life, I am a medical student. I am also a volunteer research assistant at a newly founded research unit at the University of Stanford that is called Data Engineering and Semantics. This research unit is the third ever Wikimedia research unit in Tunisia, and we are hoping to duplicate this initiative all over the country. Thank you. So I will head to Rashid.
Hello everybody, welcome to the US. So I am Rashid. I am a computer engineer. I'm the business as the president of the NGO CD, which is the Association for the Character of People in Tunisia. So mainly I support every activity related to free knowledge, and I am happy to support some of the activities of Tunisian Wikimedia. We are we are this department of our current Wikimedia, and this program on the way. So thanks to you all, and I prefer my from the day.
Hi all, I'm Zainab from Thank you.
Hey folks, just one moment.
Kind of sounds like they're
Could you come closer to the mic? The interpreters are having a bit trouble hearing you.
Will you start again? Or?
No, please carry on, but just get closer to the mic.
Hi all, I'm Zainab, CEO at Digital Citizenship. I'm co-founder for Cartagena. I'm working in research, maintenance, documentation, and promote research with Cartagena. I'm not part of the Wikimedia group. I'm so happy to be here today. And I will get to say.
Right, I think I'm going to get to here. Hello, everybody. This is Kareem. I'm the founder of the advocate for Tunisia. Founder also of Certificate Bell, which is the biggest digital club in the country, and other initiatives. I'm really fond of social governance and spend a lot of time to propose a very close friend of the Wikimedia. Thank you very much.
I've been part of the Wikimedia since 2015. I participated in the main activities of the group and organized several workshops. I think it's not just Wikipedia and that's all. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Implicit. Mostly I am tax consultant and I have recently joined the Wikimedia speaking of which I'm a member. Although I contributed a few years ago on some project, but I consider that officially generally the higher competition. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Vincent. I've been a member of Wikimedia since 2015. Joined 17 and that was just 3 months later. And I did a second one with the Wikimedia project with some part of this project. And I've been part of several companies, including the area this year, and this time the first and many of the I'd like to either creating of articles or translate from one language to another, or just few lines to new information, and also one of the some of my photos that I enjoyed taking from time to time when I have to get the good ones.
So thank you. Thank you for sharing your activities in Tunisia. Then we are talking now about our group, Wikimedia Tunisia or Wikimedia TN user group. So the idea is quite old. So since 26, we have an idea of a chapter, a local chapter in Tunisia. But really in 2010, we started thinking about creating a user group instead of a chapter. And then in 2014, we have a recognition of our user group as an official user group of Wikimedia Foundation, and it was the first one in the Middle East, North Africa, and in Africa. And a lot of user groups are joining the community after our group. So we are talking here about what we did in our group, user group. So 2015, we organized the first Arabic meeting, the regional meeting about Wikipedia in Arabic and contributors in Arabic language, and it was held here in Monastir at the same time where we are now. And we gathered about 50 participants from different Arabic and non-Arabic countries. And this is a photo group of the participants were back to 2015. Also, we organized the third African meeting, which is Wiki Indaba in Tunis, and we had more than 60 participants in this regional meeting. And this is also a picture of participants in this conference. In the COVID pandemic, we have also organized the Wiki Convention Francophone online, and it was a totally online event. We had 200 participants in this conference, and some participants in this conference also. In our user group, since the starting of our user group, we had a lot of workshops with community and persons in Tunisia. So I'm just sitting Wiki Challenge, Ecole d'Afrique, the Wiki Gap, and art and feminism. Also, we organized our workshops and participated in many Wiki Loves contests. And the projects in our user group we had with Cartagena, Medinapedia in the old city of Tunis, and then another project similar to Medinapedia, which is Dogabite, initiated by Africus, another partner, Wikimedia Tunisia user group. We had a lot of education programs in universities, editathons. In the pandemic time, we didn't do a lot of projects, but we had some interviews and meeting online. So we call it them Wiki Weekend, where we invited some contributors and we spoke about the movement, and we had this activity every week in the pandemic, I think. Then the last project, which is not on live yet, it's a documentary with another user group, the Wikimedia Living user group, and it is a documentary about a person, a writer, and a very famous writer, which will share this project on Wikipedia Commons in the end of this month. So here we speak about what is specificities or some cultural specificities of Tunisia. So I'm very happy to share with you that the couscous, which is a famous dish in the North African region, it's added to the UNESCO Intangible Cultural Heritage list in 2020. So I'm very happy to share with you that we have here couscous, and maybe I will show you with the second dish. I don't know if you see the first one, Karim, the first one. So this is, maybe we'll, oh, okay, yes, thank you. This is a very famous dish in Tunisia. It's couscous, here with chicken. Vegetables, yes. The second dish is, I think, some friend of mine told me that it's very famous. It's shakshuka. It's very popular here in Tunisia. Some vegetable eggs, and I think it's with merguez, no?
It's a vegetable.
Only vegetables. Yeah, so this is shakshuka. Karim has the information about it. It's about buga. Buga is the first, as Karim told me, the first beverage in Tunisia. Soft drink, yeah, soft drink in Tunisia, and still exists till now. Then we have some pastries, and yeah, batwood, fricassee, and some local pastries from Tunisia.
It's very delicious.
I can't wait to be full of it.
So maybe next time in person Wikimania, maybe in Tunisia, I invite you all to taste this dish from Tunisia. This dish is from Tunisia. Right. So, so this is the fricassee. This is the article about boga, the soft drink. Yeah. That's it. Does anyone want to add something?
Well, like now, thanks a lot of people for the course doing for the time.
Thank you.
It's not really easy, I don't know, but it's not easy to maintain community. I know this with the science and all this stuff. So good job.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, I'm going to wait. 15 years married. Yeah. So, go ahead. So, what can I say? Habib, we love you, man. This is the day you're ready. Thanks a lot. It's ready to 15 years married. For that,
Thank you. Thank you.
I don't know if anyone on the chat wants to ask some questions about the project. If anyone has anything in mind, the way to get that.
No?
Smart.
Non direct. Inshallah.
There are going to be a lot of English for Wikipedia.
Yes, so we contribute to the three editions of Wikipedia. Actually, but the most editions to which we did are the Arabic and French Wikipedia. We actually use the fact that English is the language of the world now, it is the first spoken language. We will try to have more contributions there with more new contributors, new souls, new initiatives taken.
How many people in Tunisia speak French?
Almost 80% of Tunisians speak French fluently.
I think that they have the gift of learning and speaking,
About all the inclusion conference, we started to organize, especially basically everyone wants to organize either Wikimedia or Victor mentioned, for example, Wikimedia was we already organized the event in 2018, and we was we organized it was online. We did organize last year edition, and hopefully we will organize the next edition. Not confident, but maybe. And yeah, about the language, I think I mean you guys
قرب maximum.
about the language, I think it depends on the difference and we want some
How many months do you have to use
Officially, when we opened the registration for the membership of the user group, we had over 200 registrations. Now, yeah, 200, but mainly active in Wikimedia projects. We have a dozen of very active Wikimedia. Hello, do you hear us? Hello? 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 Hello?
Okay.
Hello, folks. If you speak, can you get closer to Habib? Habib is the only one that has good sound right now. So get closer to Habib, please, if you're speaking. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Got it. So which question was not clear or the answer was not clear? So others saying that Tunisians are famous about tasty and
That's
spice. Yeah, this one is very, very spicy. Very. The couscous is common stuff.
This is for the three countries of the Maghreb.
It's really, and in sub-Saharan countries.
Yes. Yeah. But any other questions? About food, about Indonesia, about that, yeah, we have common history, we have common challenges and common civilizations. So we are brothers.
Especially in Ramadan.
Yeah. Especially in Ramadan.
Well, we miss you too.
Come to Tunisia, it's beautiful.
Habibi, come to Tunisia.
Yeah. Tunisia is opening its doors to all people from all over the world. Come here and enjoy.
Okay. So thank you, everybody. I'm very happy to have the session about Tunisia with you, and see you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
شكرا.
السلام عليكم. أرحب بكم للحديث عن المستخدمات في المجتمعات العربية ونشاطهن داخل حركة ويكيميديا. نعم، اليوم أنتم مع نون النسوة لغوياً وتطبيقياً، ومعي أيضاً أنا نانور غرابديان مستخدمة نانور. بدأت علاقتي بعالم ويكيميديا منذ 3 سنوات، تدرجت فيها بين مشاريعها ولجانها وبين مجتمعاتها العربية والعالمية. في خضم هذا التنقل استوقفني كثيراً ضعف نسبة المستخدمات في مجتمعي وضعف الدراسة عنهن. فإذا تساءلنا عن نسبة المستخدمات أو كيف نقيم مساهمتهن، سيكون الجواب لا توجد لدينا دراسات، وغالباً ما سنستعين إما بدراسة عامة أو دراسات لمجتمعات مشابهة لنا. Next slide please. نحاول في حوار اليوم الخروج ببيانات وتقييمات للمستخدمات في ظل غياب هذه الدراسات والأرقام الرسمية عن الموضوع. فإذا قلنا بلغتنا العامية أو اللهجات، لأن جلستنا أعتقد ستكون خليط بين الفصحى والعامية، مدام ما في أو ما عندناش دراسة عن حالنا لندرس نحن عن حالنا. فأجرينا استبياناً بالإمكانات المتوفرة استطلعنا فيه رأي 25 مشاركة. لكن قبل أن نشرع بجلستنا لنتعرف أولاً على متحدثاتها. Next slide please. And next. من المغرب نسيمة شهبون، ويكيميديا منذ سنة 2018 وهي رئيسة مؤسسة لمجموعة ويكي التراث العالمي. من مصر ولاء عبد المنعم، ويكيبيديا منذ عام 2012 وهي محررة وأول إدارية بالعالم العربي، مؤسسة لمبادرة شعاع معرفي. من عمان مرفت سلمان، إدارية ومحررة في ويكيبيديا العربية، ناشطة في المجتمع العربي والعالمي منذ 2012 وهي عضو مؤسس لمجموعة ويكيميديا بلاد الشام. أهلا بكم وشكرا لقبول دعوة المشاركة في الجلسة الحوارية.
شكرا نانور.
شكرا على
أهلا
المبادرة.
بالجميع.
يا أهلا. إذن سير جلستنا سيكون بالتماشي مع أسئلة الاستبيان التي كانت مقسمة إلى بيانات عامة مثل العمر الويكيبيدي، البلد، ومن ثم تقييمات المشاركات ومهاراتهن وبيئة تطوعهن، ومن بعد التحديات التي تواجههن، وأخيراً رؤيتهن لمستقبلهن في الحركة والمجتمع العربي. سنستعرض الردود والنسب ونناقشها معكم مرفت وولاء ونسيمة، وسنتطرق أيضاً لتجربتكم للمساعدة في فهم واقع تجربة المستخدمات في المجتمع العربي. فهيا بنا. Next slide please. And next. الأرقام. لغة الأرقام هي الأقوى، فنستعرض هنا مقارنة بسيطة قمنا بحسابها أثناء تحضير الجلسة هذه، والأرقام هي قادمة من ويكيبيديا العربية لأنها المشروع الأوفر حظاً بالمساهمات. فنرى نحن في عام 2017 هناك ضعف في نسبة المستخدمات اللواتي لا يملكن أي صلاحيات مقارنة بمجمل المستخدمين، وفي عام 2012 ضعفت النسبة أكثر. Next please. هذه النسب التي نراها هنا هي للمستخدمين ذوي الصلاحيات، ونلاحظ أيضا أن النسبة منخفضة في 2017 بالنسبة للمستخدمات لصلاحيات مختلفة، ولم نذكر جميع الصلاحيات إلا المراجعة التلقائي ومحررات وإداريات. نلاحظ زيادة طفيفة في 2012 بالنسبة للمحررات والإداريات، لكن إجمالاً جميع النسب ضعيفة. وبالحقيقة وجب التنويه أنه قد تكون هذه النسب غير دقيقة. هي غير دقيقة. لماذا؟ لأن لتحديد الدقيق لعدد المستخدمات يجب أن تكون أو يلزم أن تكون المستخدمة قد فعلت هي خيار خاصية صيغة المخاطبة من صفحة المستخدم الخاص لها، وهو الأمر الذي لم أفعله أنا شخصياً حتى الآن. إذن سنبدأ الأسئلة. سأوجه السؤال بالاسم للمتحدثة، ولكن يمكن لمن لديها أي تعقيب أو مداخلة أن تضيف ما تجد إضافته مهما. Next please. نبدأ معك ولاء. هنا نرى العمر الويكيبيدي. كانت النسبة الأكبر للأعمار المشاركات في الاستبيان بالطبع العمر الويكيبيدي من عام إلى 3 أعوام، وأنت ويكيبيدية منذ 10 سنوات. ماذا يعني أن نتقدم بالعمر ويكيبيديا؟ أقصد ما هي التغييرات التي تطرأ على تجربة المستخدمة؟ تفضلي.
مساء الخير جميعا، ازيك يا نور وازاي صديقاتي ميرفت ونسيمة، وبرحب بالحضور الكريم اولا. فكرة ان انا بقالي 10 سنين، يمكن انا دخولي الويكيبيديا كان مختلف شوية. دخلت عن طريق حاجة منظمة، برنامج ويكيبيديا للتعليم بدأ، وطبعا الى جانب وظيفتي ان انا ستاف في الجامعة، فده سهل عليا جدا وجودي في ويكيبيديا. دخلنا عن طريق برنامج التعليم. أول سنة كملنا بعديها، كنت الأول مجرد طالبة في الماجستير عادي جدا، كملت بعدها إن أنا أبقى طالبة ومشاركة وسفيرة أدرب الناس. يعني أنا كان عندي حب إن أنا أدرب الناس زي ما أنا اتعلمت، وبعد كده كمان تطورت إن أنا أكون قائدة، فبقيت قائدة وتحتي كان في سفراء، وبعدين برضو في مشاركين كتير. وكان معايا سبب رئيسي، كانت مشرفتي وأستاذتي أستاذ دكتور عبير عبد الحافظ، كان ليها فضل كبير بعد ربنا إن أنا أكون موجودة في ويكيبيديا. دي كانت أول خطوة، وكملت بعدها. طب ليه كملنا بعدها؟ زي ما انتي بتقولي يعني إن العمر الويكيبيدي ما بين 1 ل3 سنوات، وأنا ليه مكملة لحد 10 سنين، لحد دلوقتي أكتر من 10 سنين كمان. في حاجتين بنشتغل عليهم، إن هي صدقة جارية وعلم ينتفع به، دول حاجتين أساسيتين في الأول. والحاجة الثالثة هي انت حب نشر المعرفة. حب نشر المعرفة، وان يكون المستخدم نفسه او الشخص نفسه عنده الرغبة دي ان مجهوده بدل ما يكون في الخفاء، لا، ان هو يكون معلن، ان هو يكون منشور ومعلن للجميع. وانا كان جزء في تخصصي كنت بشتغل في الترجمة، فده برضو سهل عليا جدا ان انا المحتوى اللي بالاسباني ده، طب ليه ما نقلهوش للعربي؟ فده ساعد كتير جدا، يعني يمكن بسبب بدايتي هي اللي ساعدت لكده.
تمام.
ليه استمريت؟ ما هو انا زي ما قلت لك، حب نشر المعرفه وحب العمل التطوعي. يمكن لان انا يعني الحمد لله ليه وظيفتي الثابته، فده اللي خلاني ان انا اكمل جنبها. دخلنا بعد كده كملنا برنامج التعليم وتوسعنا على مستوى 11 جامعه على مستوى مصر. بعدين
يعني
دخلنا نشاط له علاقه بالنسويه.
انه الظروف هي
دخلنا نشاط له علاقه بالنسويه.
اوكي. انه الظروف هي
وكانت
اللي
كمان
ساعدت انه
مجموعتنا.
انت تكملين. صحيح.
نعم،
الظروف هي اللي ساعدت انه
الظروف بالظبط. الظروف، المسابقات، كانت مجموعة ويكيميديا مصر برضو ساعدت جدا ان هي بدأت تنظم مسابقات ليها علاقة بالنسوية، ليها علاقة بالتاريخ، ليها علاقة بالويكيبيديا بشكل عام. بدأت تشجع الناس، بدأت تجيب الصغيرين وتدربهم، احنا كنا المدربين. فده ساعد الناس ان هي تنتشر وان هي تستمر، وساعدني انا شخصيا ان انا اكون موجودة، وان انا حبيت ان انا لقيت ان المخرجات عندي ظاهرة، وان انا استفدت جدا جدا، ولقيت ليا تمثيل ليا ولعيلتي والبلدي. فده كله خلاني ان انا اكمل.
ممتاز. next slide please. هنا نرى البلد العربي. سألنا في الاستبيان البلد العربي التي تنتمي إليه، ونرى الأكبر مشاركات كانت من السودان، وأشكر هنا شكر خاص لمجتمع السودان، هذه المجموعة الناشئة النشطة لمشاركتها. وأيضا لدينا مناسبة اليوم، وهي أن في تونس يحتفلون بيوم المرأة، لذلك علمت عن الموضوع من زميلي حسام الدين في الفريق التنظيمي أنهم الآن في المنستير يحتفلون، فتحية منا من جلسة المستخدمات إلى مجموعة تونس. أيضا مرفت، نرى أن يوجد محدودية في البلدان المشاركة، بالرغم من أن نشر الاستبيان كان على نطاق واسع في الميدان على ويكيبيديا، وسائل التواصل الاجتماعي، وبعض المجموعات على القنوات الخاصة، وفترة زمنية جيدة بالحقيقة. لماذا لدينا هذه المحدودية؟
شكرا نور على السؤال، وحقيقة النتيجة اللي تفضلتي وعرضتيها مفاجئة. يعني أكبر عدد من اللي شاركوا في الاستبيان وليس من المشاركات في الموسوعة هم من السودان الشقيق. هذا بيفرجي رغبة من الزميلات في السودان إنهم يوضحوا ظروف معينة موجودة عندهم. هم بمعنى آخر حبوا إنهم يعطونا بيانات بتفيد الدراسة وبتفرجي كيف ممكن إنه نتائج هاي الدراسة تنعكس عليهم إيجابيا أو حتى يعني على المناطق الأخرى. أما ليه في عزوف عن المشاركة في مثل هاي الاستبيانات؟ لأنه بتلاحظي إنه بين فترة وفترة نحن ننشر استبيانات نطلب فيها معلومات بخصوص مشاريع مختلفة، فهي برضو بتعتمد على الظروف. يعني هي فكرة الظروف هي بتحكم كل شيء تقريبا. أحيانا قد لا تكون الفكرة واضحة، أحيانا بيكون لازم تستهدفي الأشخاص. نانور مثلا معروف أن على المستخدمات، لنفرض أنه المستخدمات في الويكيبيديا العربية هن 50، كان ممكن أنه نوجه أو نبعث الاستبيان تحديدا لهاتين الشخصيات أو هاتين المحررات. احتمال أتوقع نشر الاستبيان إجا في فترة فيها إجازات، يعني هاي فترة الإجازات الصيفية، ففي فترة امتحانات يمكن في الجامعات اللي بيكونوا منتسبات لبرنامج الصيفي أو التعليم الصيفي، فاحتمال هذه أسباب يعني مختلفة أنا فكرت فيها. يعني عم بفكر هلأ مع بعض نحن بنفكر إنه شو ممكن يكون في أسباب ما خلت المشاركات الزميلات الويكيبيديات العربيات ما يساهموا في إعطاء رأيهم بالنسبة للمساهمة النسوية أو الأنثوية في الويكيبيديا العربية. بس أنا بدي أنوه لشغلة نانور، إذا بدي أرجع لسبب دراستك أولا وأخيرا. يعني من الأشياء اللي بتطمن نوعا ما إنه الوضع اللي تفضلتي ولخصتيه في البداية هو وضع مش محصور على الويكيبيديا العربية. يعني إذا كان بدك توسع الدراسة وتشوفيها على مستوى المجتمعات الويكيبيدية بشكل عام في كل العالم، رح تلاحظي الفجوة في
صحيح.
المشاركات. احنا دائما بنقول الفجوة في المحتوى، ولكن برضو الفجوة في المشاركات واضحة جدا. يعني حتى على
صحيح.
مستوى الويكيبيديا الإنجليزية الفجوة واضحة جدا، وفي ظروف أو في عفوا في أسباب كتير إذا بدك نرجع لها، وهي دراسات حاولنا نعملها في منذ السنوات. يعني الأسباب اللي بتخلي النساء يتوقفوا أو ما يستمروا مثل ما تفضلت ولا، أو إنه مشاركاتهم تكون محدودة في فترة زمنية أو في نطاق معين، لها أسباب كثيرة. ممكن إنه جلسة اليوم ما تسع إنه نذكر كل
صحيح.
الأسباب وراء هذا الموضوع.
صحيح. وشكرا للتنويه اللي أنا راح أركز عليه أيضا، أن نحن اليوم دراستنا ليس عن فجوة المحتوى، إنما المستخدمات هن أنفسنا. نعم، هن أنفسنا. نحن ما عم ندرس فجوة ندرس أو نحاول أن نقدم ما تعنيه للمشاركات وليس للمحتوى. سننتقل
طيب، أنا عندي نقطة سريعة للاستبيان. ممكن في ناس بتعزف عن الاستبيان إن لما بيلاقوا فيه أسئلة مقالية كتير مش اختار، يعني لما يكون اختار بيعملها أسهل، بياخد منه وقت قليل، إنما الأسئلة المقالية اللي هو هيكتب سطرين 3 ده اللي بيخليه يعزف عنها.
طيب، خلينا نشوف باقي أسئلة الاستبيان. You can close the slides please. Thank you. إذن ننتقل إلى التقييمات. التقييمات هنا كانت على شكل أسئلة لتقيم المشتركة في الاستبيان، ومن بعدها مباشرة سألنا توضيح لأسباب كل التقييم. ونبدأ معك نسيمة. عند السؤال هل أنت راضية بمهاراتك الحالية في حركة ويكيميديا؟ تؤكد نسبة لا بأس بها بأنهن يعانين من نقص المهارات لديهن، ولكن لم يتحدثن عن سبب حقيقي وواضح لضعف هذه المهارات أو طبيعة هذه المهارات التي يرغبن بحيازتها. فما هو هذا السبب أو سبب هذا الضعف المهاري العام أو ضعف الفهم للمهارات في ويكيميديا؟
سأتكلم انطلاقا من تجربتي في إطلاق برنامج تدريبي في مجموعة ويكي التراث العالمي. عند بداية المجموعة حاولنا أن نقوم ببرنامج لتمكين الأعضاء من مختلف الأدوات التقنية وتعليمهم استعمال مختلف مشاريع ويكيميديا حتى نتأكد من تمكنهم من المشاركة بشكل فعال في جميع الأنشطة. وكان لدينا طموح كبير، مثلا إقامة جلسة تدريبية كل أسبوعين أو كل شهر على الأكثر، ومحاولة شمول جميع الأدوات وجميع المشاريع. وهذا الشيء الذي للأسف فشلنا فشلا ذريعا في تحقيقه. تمكنا من تنظيم بعض الجلسات التدريبية بمعدل جلسة كل شهرين مثلا. أحيانا كانت هناك انقطاعات، والسبب الرئيسي هو عدم تواجد منصة مثلا أو صفحة تمكننا من التواصل مع مدربين، مع ويكيميديين يعني متمرسين في مختلف الأدوات، وعدم معرفة من هم هؤلاء الويكيميديون أولا، كيف يمكن التواصل معهم ثانيا، وما هي their availabilities، يعني ما هي أوقاتهم المتاحة، بأي لغات يمكنهم التدريب وما إلى ذلك. فليس هنالك إلى الآن أظن في ويكيميديا، يعني في المجتمع عامة وليس فقط العربي، أي مكان that centralizes التدريبات والمدربين ومن يمكنه القيام بتدريب. هذا من جهة. من جهة أخرى، حتى لمن أراد التعلم الذاتي وخصوصا بالنسبة للعرب سواء نساء أو رجالا، هنالك ضعف في المواد المترجمة إلى العربية على بعض المشاريع، خصوصا ويكي بيانات، ويكيميديا كومنز. الكثير من الصفحات لا توجد بالعربية، مما يعسر الأمر على الناطقين فقط بالعربية وعلى الذين لا يتمكنون من القراءة بالإنجليزية بشكل يعني بشكل فعال.
تمام، شكرا نسيمة. ننتقل سؤال ثاني في التقييمات وأوجهه لمرفت وولاء، وسنحاول أن نمضي سريعا. هو الحديث كثير بالحقيقة، ونحن ندخل قليلا بالمنطقة الشائكة أكثر، سنتحدث عن المشاريع والمجموعات، فنختصر ونوضح في نفس الوقت لنصل لجميع الأسئلة. إذن عندما سألنا كيف تقيمين التفاعل والتحفيز المحاط بك داخل المجتمع، وهنا نقصد المجتمع المشاريع أي ويكيبيديا وشقيقاتها، كانت النسبة الأكبر للاختيار جيد جدا، ومن بعده للممتاز. بالحقيقة طبعا نحن سعداء بهذه النسبة الإيجابية المرتفعة، لكن كانت هناك اختيارات للضعيف أيضا، وسنعطي نحن هنا المساحة لأصحاب التقييمات الضعيفة ونرى لماذا هن اخترنا. فصرحت البعض بأن في المجتمع تصيد والنقد غير هادف، وهناك عرقلة للأفكار الجديدة. إحدى المشاركات تشعر خيبة لتوقعاتها وفكرتها المسبقة عن الوضع التحفيزي في المجتمع. تركز إحدى المشاركات على موضوع السياسات، أي أن من رغم من وجوب تطبيقها إلا أن طريقة التطبيق تكون عبر النقاشات الجافة أو حذف التعديلات، وهناك أيضا عرقلة للنشاطات التنظيمية. مرفت وبعدها ولا بحكم صلاحياتكم في المجتمع العربي، المجتمع الويكيبيدي العربي، ما هي تجربتكم في هذا الإطار، وما رأيكم في هذه الصعوبات التي تواجهها المشاركات؟ تفضلي مرفت.
شكرا نور. يعني الموضوع كبير ومتشعب، والحلو في الموضوع نور انه تفضلتي وقلتي احدى المشاركات، يعني هاي تجارب فرديه بمعنى اخر، يعني ما فينا نعممها، ما عندك نتيجه تقول انه مثلا 10% من اللي شملهم الاستبيان قالوا انه مثلا في تصيد او احباط او عدم تقبل الافكار. فيبدو انه هاي التحديات اللي شرحوا لنا اياها في الاستبيان هي تحديات فرديه، وهي تحصل في اي مجتمع وفي اي مشروع. ونحن أكاد أجزم يعني إنه كل وحدة فينا تعرضت لمثل هيك مواقف في بداياتها، أو حتى هلا ونحن معنا صلاحيات جيدة ومعنا يعني ما بدي أحكي سلطة، بس إنه قادرين إنه نوقف أي تحدي أو نواجه أي تحدي ونمشي. فالموضوع بيعتمد إنه كيف المشاركة بتتلقى في الموضوع، كيف تتلقيه. يعني أنا تعرضت فرضا لمجموعة من الأشخاص لا تتقبل مشروع أو فكرة مشروع أقدمها. بحاول مرة أخرى بتوجه المشروع لأشخاص آخرين يدعموني، بحاول أشوف مين هم الأشخاص اللي منفتحين للنقاش. السياسات إذا كنت بشوف إنه مثلا أطراف معينة بتنفذ السياسات بالطريقة اللي أنا شايفتها مجحفة أو إنه غير مجدية أو غير فعالة، بحاول أتوجه لأشخاص آخرين أتحاور معهم أو أحكي معهم. المشكلة إنه في التحديات بتوقف الناس عند طموح، أو طموح الناس عند حد معين. بمعنى آخر في كتير أشخاص أو شخصيات، خليني أحكي على النساء تحديدا، إن واجهتها مشاكل أو معضلات أو أي نوع من هذا المحبطات أو الأمور المحبطة، بتوقف، بتسكر الباب وبتطلع. هاي هي المشكلة إنه نحن لازم نكون على قد حالنا زي ما بنقول. بتحدى وبمشي. إذا كان هاي الفكرة ما استقبلت بطريقة إيجابية، بدي أحاول أعرف ليش، في سبب وراء ذلك. بناقش، بحاول أفتح أبواب، بسأل. كتير مهم إنه نسأل، يعني نسأل ليه رفضت فكرة. يعني حتى على موضوع بتعرفوا أكثر مشكلة نحن بتواجهنا كإداريين في الموسوعة، لماذا حذفت مقالتي؟ وكتير ناس بتوقف وبتسأل ليش حذفتوا مقالتي، استرجعوا مقالتي. بلاقيهم بيكتبوا في السوشيال ميديا، في هاي الصفحات، في هاي الصفحات. يعني في إصرار. طبعا إصرار على الخطأ، مش إنه نقول إنه يعني إشي صح، بس فكرة الإصرار علشان أعرف الأسباب، تتوضح لي الأسباب، أصير أفهم. كلنا انحذفت لنا مقالات في بداياتنا، بس هذا الإشي ما وقفنا. كلنا اصطدمنا في المجتمعات اللي نحن موجودين فيها، في مجموعات العمل اللي احنا أنشأناها أصلا، في إطاراتنا المحلية كلنا واجهنا مشاكل. حتى لما تنطلقي للعالمية أو تصيري جزء من المجتمع العالمي برضو رح تشوفي التحديات. بس الفكرة إنه أنا أتعلم من هاي التحديات وأقدر أستفيد منها. كل شيء وراء منه سبب، والهدف إنه أنا أتعلم من الأشياء، أتعلم من الأخطاء، أعترف إنه أنا بعمل أخطاء، أتعلم الصح منها وأمشي. هذا اللي أنا بدي أوضحه. شكرا.
صحيح، شكرا مرفت. نسمع منك من تجربتك ولاء، وأنت أول إدارية. طبعا يمكن الفرق الزمني بتولي أو استلام الصلاحيات ما كان كبير بين ولاء ومرفت، لكن ولاء هي الأولى. ونسمع تجربتك، أنت أول أنثى أو مستخدمة أخذت صلاحية إدارة في ويكيبيديا العربية. تفضلي.
طيب، هي مبدئيا ميرفت جاوبت على 99% من السؤال اللي حصل معانا كلنا تقريبا. تمام. هي فعلا هي حالات، يعني احنا مش هنقدر نقول ان المجتمع كله يعني قادر ان هو يتقبل الافكار الجديده. لا، في ناس افكارها بتبقى مقفوله شويه، بس المجتمع نفسه بدأ يقبل. مثلا لما ابتدينا حاجات عن النسويه او حاجات فنيه او حاجات ثقافيه من كذا سنه، مبادرات او مسابقات، كل ده اتقبل. ممكن انا اعمل مبادره دلوقتي بس ما بقاش عليها رواج كبير، عادي، ممكن مش دول المهتمين، او انا توجهت للاشخاص الغلط، يعني انا ما روحتش للفئه المستهدفه الصحيحه. فانا دوري ان انا ادور على الفئه بتاعتي، سواء خارج الويكيبيديا نفسهم وادخلهم في ويكيبيديا او جوه ويكيبيديا نفسها، وابدا اتواصل مع الاشخاص. فهو هنا حصل لهم سوء تواصل، عشان كده كانت تجربتهم مش احسن حاجه. اما بالنسبه بقى ان انا يعني لما خدت الصلاحيات، يعني انا كان وصل لي ان في ناس كانت مش عايزه تصوت في الاول، ان هم ازاي بنت هتقدر تواجه المجتمع الذكوري اللي احنا عايشين فيه في ويكيبيديا، طبعا عشان نسبه المشاركه ونسبه المحتوى. بس هم لقوا بعد كده لا، ان البنت قادره عادي تخش تخش مثلا لو في نقاشات او في صراعات او في اي حاجه، ان هي تقدر تشتغل بالسياسات اللي موجوده في الويكيبيديا وتفصل بين الناس، مفيش اي مشكله. لان انت
تمام.
بيحكمك سياسات مش بتحكمك اهواء شخصيه.
صحيح صحيح
ده بس زياده على كلام ميرفت يعني.
صحيح. إذا نبقى على همة عالية ونثبت أنفسنا بالمواقف والنقاشات. ننتقل للتقييم الثالث، وهي تقييم في منطقة شائكة أكثر، وهي مجموعات المستخدمين. والسؤال هنا لنسيمة ومرفت وولاء. عندما سألنا كيف تقيمين التفاعل والتحفيز محيط بك داخل المجموعة، أي مجموعة المستخدمين، النسبة السلبية ارتفعت على حساب التقييمات الإيجابية، لكن نسرد بعض من هذه النقاط السلبية ونسمع آراءكم من بعدها من فضلكم. هناك الإشكالات والشد والجذب، سوء وصعوبة التحفيز ووجود عقلية العرقلة بدل التحفيز، عدم الاستجابة لعمل ورشات جماعية وخمول عام في أداء المجموعة رغم وجود مطالبة بالعمل التطوعي الجماعي، خمول في المجموعة رغم المطالبة. إحداهن ذكرت أن المجموعة هي بيئة عمل مشحونة بطاقة غير لطيفة. التنافسية العالية التي تصل حد الأذى بهدف الحصول على المكتسبات من العمل مع المؤسسة، وقد يصل الأمر لمغادرة المجموعة رغم الكفاءة والنشاط. نبدأ معك نسيمة، وأنت من دورك هل ذكرتي بالسؤال السابق، لكن هل المجموعة بيئة حاضنة داعمة للمستخدمة؟ ومن دورك لمؤسسة والرئيسة لمجموعة مستخدمين، هل خلق هذه البيئة أمر يمكن تحقيقه؟
سأنطلق من تجربتي الشخصية. أنا أؤمن بمقولة كوني أنت التغيير الذين تريدين أن تريه، وهذا ما حاولت فعله. فبشكل صريح عندما ولجت لعالم ويكيميديا لأول مرة واجهتني الكثير من المضايقات من طرف أشخاص يعدون على رؤوس الأصابع بالتأكيد. يعني المجتمع العربي أو العالمي كان داعما، لكن كانت هنالك مضايقات استمرت لفترة طويلة، وعندما تكون المضايقات خصوصا من أشخاص لديهم أقدمية أو نوع من السلطة فهنا تشكل عائقا للمستخدمة للاستمرار. لكن شخصيا كان لدي شغف أكبر، دخلت لويكيميديا حتى أستطيع أن أوثق التراث سواء في بلدي أو في بلدان أخرى، فكان الشغف أكبر من العوائق. وكما قالت ميرفت، عندما تواجهنا هذه المشاكل ربما سنغير الأشخاص مع من نشتغل، ربما سنغير الآذان التي ستستمع لكلماتنا. فأنا حاولت أن أغير وضعيتي التي لم تكن جيدة جدا إلى opportunity، فقمت بالتعرف على أشخاص أكثر عالميا ولم أبقى منحصرة فقط في مجموعتي، وكانوا أشخاص لديهم نفس الاهتمامات نفس الدوافع، فاستمرنا بالعمل سويا إلى أن قمنا بإنشاء مجموعة. في البداية لم تكن لدينا بتاتا فكرة إنشاء ويكي التراث العالمي، جاءت نتيجة الكثير من العمل ومن المشاريع المشتركة. بالنسبة لهل يمكن للمجموعة أن تكون بيئة حاضنة ومحفزة، أظن أن المجموعة بإمكانها أولا أن تكون بيئة آمنة وغير منفرة، وهذا واجب على يعني مجلس إدارة المجموعة أن يوفره لجميع الأعضاء. الاستماع لمقترحاتهم حتى لو لم يكن مجلس الإدارة مثلا متفقا معها، يجب إعطاء الأعضاء هذه الفرصة حتى لو لم تكن ضمن جدول أعمال المجموعة، فالمجموعة بالنهاية هي ملك للجميع. هذا من جهة، ومن جهة أخرى محاولة تمكين الأعضاء قدر الإمكان، لأن الإنسان عندما يبني مهاراته فهو يكتسب ثقة وحماس أكثر للمشاركة، فبناء القدرات مهم جدا. لكن إذا أردنا تحفيز الجميع وجعلهم يشتغلون بنفس القدر من الحماس والالتزام، فمن وجهة نظري هذا أمر صعب بل ربما مستحيل، لأننا نبقى في مجتمع تطوعي 100%، لذلك لا يمكن أن نرغم المتطوعين على تقديم وقت وجهد متساوي، كل لديه اهتماماته وظروفه. لذلك أظن أن المجموعة عليها أن تكون بيئة آمنة، بيئة يستطيع فيها الأعضاء الاقتراح بيئة يستطيعون فيها العمل. إذا أراد عضو أن يشتغل على مشروع فقط، يعني لا تجعله بحاجة إلى طلب الإذن مثلا أو التشاور مع مجلس الإدارة أو لا يمكن أن نبني المجموعة المفتوحة على التراتبية. نجعل المجموعة مفتوحة لجميع الأعضاء، يمكنهم العمل، يمكنهم خلق نشاطات، وكما يمكنهم تتبع جدول المجموعة الذي مثلا تم إعداده في أول السنة أو كيف يعني حسب ما تشتغل كل مجموعة. فالفكرة هي أن لا نجعل المجموعة يعني خاضعة للتراتبية وللبيروقراطية، وأجعلها مفتوحة للجميع مرحبة باقتراحات الجميع.
واضح، شكرا. فقط التنويه أيضا، بقي لدينا أقل من 10 دقائق. نسمع تعقيب من ولاء ومن بعدها مرفت، مشكورين، لننتقل لدينا باقي فقرتين لنتكلم عنهم. تفضلي ولاء بنقطة المجموعات.
تمام. يمكن احنا مجموعتنا ليها وضع خاص، فاحنا هنتكلم احنا خرجنا من الوضع ده ازاي. التواصل الفاعل بين اصحاب ومؤسسي المبادرات والاشخاص اللي عندهم همة ورغبة ان هم يعملوا حاجة باسم مصر في الاول وفي الاخر، مش شرط تحت غطاء المجموعة. فهو لازم يكون في تواصل، مش لازم نستنى ان احنا نبقى تحت عباءة مجموعة. يعني ما زلنا منتمين لمجموعة، ولكن احنا ممكن تعمل حاجة تبقى ليها فعالية اكتر.
نستمر بنشاطنا وبخلق مبادرات وإنشاء يعني مجتمعات
والتكاتف،
جديدة.
ان الناس تتكاتف، مش ان هم مش منافسين لبعض، هم مكملين
صحيح.
لبعض.
مكملين لبعض، نأمل ذلك. مرفت سريعا من فضلك.
بدي أذكر إنه في العالم أو الويكيميديا أو في حركة ويكيميديا في 182 مجموعة. مش كل المجموعات هي مجموعات مناطقية أو إنها محصورة في مناطق مثل المجموعات الموجودة في الوطن العربي. في مجموعات بسموها مجموعات مواضيعية ثيماتيك، يعني إنها بتركز على موضوع معين. فممكن أي ويكيميديا حابة تشتغل في موضوع معين حسب نطاق اهتماماتها. مثلا إذا أنا اهتماماتي في الطب، في مجموعة كبيرة عالمية تركيزها على مواضيع الطب أو على مشاريع الطب، فممكن أنا أتوجه وأشتغل مع هاي المجموعة. أو مثلا إذا أنا معمارية اهتماماتي في التراث، مجموعة نسيمة موجودة ومرحبة. فبمعنى آخر الفكرة إنه لما بينغلق باب في أبواب أخرى.
صحيح.
موضوع التعاونيات داخل المجموعات هذا أمر مهم جدا. نحن بتعرفي في المؤسسة موضوع إتاحة الفرص للتدريب، إتاحة البيئة الآمنة الصحية المحترمة لأعضائها، هذا أمر يعني حتمي، وبنحاول إنه نشمله في مدونة قواعد السلوك اللي المفروض إنها تطبق على جميع المجموعات وجميع المجتمعات على حد سواء. فإن شاء الله إنه يكون بتنفيذ المدونة بيشعر الأعضاء إنه مجموعاتهم أو مجتمعاتهم أكثر ترحيبا وأكثر احتراما، يعني على أمل إنه نحاول
لخلق البيئة
نحقق هدف
الودية
الاستدامة، استدامة
صحيح.
الأفراد، استدامة العمل الجماعي. أيضا في حال يعني مثل ما تفضلت ولاء، بعض المجموعات في المنطقة العربية عندها أوضاع خاصة، بعضها خاملة جدا، بعضها ناشئة وتحاول، وبعضها تعمل ضمن منهجيات وضمن قوانين وناجحة جدا. فعلى أمل أنه تطبق التجارب الناجحة على بقية المجتمعات، يصير في تعاونيات ليس داخل المجموعة الواحدة فقط ولكن على النطاق الإقليمي أيضا.
شكرا لآرائكم وذكر تجاربكم كمان في التقييمات. ننتقل إلى التحديات. في التحديات كان السؤال الاستبيان: ما هي التحديات والأسباب التي تحد من مساهمتك في المجتمعات العربية لحركة ويكيميديا؟ حددنا في الاستبيان عدد من التحديات 17 نقطة، وسأذكر الأكثر اختيارا. في المرتبة الأولى كانت لضيق الوقت، فالتحدي الأكبر هو الوقت. المرتبة الثانية كانت لعدم التمكن من المهارات التقنية، وهنا نعود أيضا لضعف المهارات وبالتحديد التقنية، وهي يعني نقطة يستحق الوقوف عليه بالحقيقة. المرتبة الثالثة كانت لعدة تحديات يعني معا، وهي بيئة غير محفزة للمساهمة، لا أعرف كيف سأساهم، والالتزامات عائلية. إذا حاولنا في هذا الاستبيان إيجاد نواة دراسة لهذه التحديات لتواجه المستخدمات أثناء تطوعهن، وعلى أمل أن قد تطور لاحقا لنقف عند هذه التحديات، نفصلها ونبين أسبابها، ولما لا نجد سبل لتجاوزها. ننتقل للفقرة الأخيرة، القسم الأخير في الاستبيان وأسئلة اليوم وجلستنا، ومعنا أقل من 4 دقائق. رؤيتك المستقبلية. كان السؤال: لو كان في إمكانك التغيير، ما هي أول 3 أمور ترغبين بتغييرها؟ سأستعرض بعض المقترحات وأوجهها لزميلاتي هنا، وأسأل عن رأيكم عن المقترح أو التغيير المقترح. ميرفت: ترغب إحدى المشاركات بوضع سياسة تمنع التصيد للمساهمات وتطبيقها على المجتمع من أشخاص من الميتا، واتخاذ قرارات صارمة في حق من يحاول عرقلة أي مشروع، ويكون القرار من أفراد أيضا من الميتا وليس من المجتمع العربي. ما رأيك بهذا المقترح للتغيير؟
فكرة من الميتا مش واضحة أبدا، ما بعرف يعني مين هم الأشخاص اللي من الميتا. موضوع إنه وضع سياسة، هذا أمر يعني لا أعتقد إنه غايب يعني عن معظم المجتمعات. لابد إنه هناك سياسات، منها سياسات السلوك. هناك يعني إذا نظرنا إلى السياسات التي تحكم السلوك داخل المجتمعات، لابد من وجود سياسة. أستطيع أن أقول هذه السياسة هي أفضل سياسة، هي سياسة منع التحرش. التحرش طبعا نطاقه واسع، لا نقصد بالتحرش هو مثلا التحرش الجنسي أو إلى ما ذلك، هي المضايقات، الحد من المضايقات. لما
الإساءات، الإهانات، جميع التحرشات.
صحيح. هذه السياسة هي سياسة المدونة، ولا بد من وجود مدونات سلوك محلية. معظم المجتمعات لديها قوانين داخلية، بايلوز، قوانين ضابطة للسلوك في داخل المجتمعات وداخل المجموعات أيضا. في حال كانت هذه السياسات مقصرة أو قاصرة أو تنفيذها قاصر، يجب اللجوء إلى قوانين مدونة السلوك العالمية وإرشادات إنفاذها، والتي ستكون طبعا حيز التنفيذ إن شاء الله قريبا خلال العام القادم. لكن هذا الموضوع موجود، بس أنا حبيت أفهم شو يعني من الميتا. أشخاص الميتا هم ويكيميديين.
أنا اللي فهمته، إذا فهمي صحيح للموضوع، أن ليس من المجتمع، يعني لا نريد أحد من المجتمع، أن يكون من خارج المجتمع، ولكن لما متى بالحقيقة لم نسأل عن هذه النقطة. ننتقل للنقطة الثانية، وأيضا يعني أعتذر منكم بس يعني سريعا. نسيمة اقترحت إحداهن تدريبات أكثر ومسابقات أكثر للمساهمة في مشاريع ويكيميديا المختلفة. ما رأيك بهذا المقترح والتغيير؟
أظن أن هذا هو أكثر شيء يمكن أن يحفز سواء العضوات أو الأعضاء على المشاركة، لأن الإنسان هو بالنهاية في حاجة دائما إلى كاونتر هدية معنوية أو مقابل معنوي مقابل مشاركته. فعندما يحس الإنسان بأنه يكتسب مهارات جديدة، أو مثلا يحصل على اعتراف أو ربما جائزة ولو كانت رمزية من خلال المشاركة في مسابقة، فهذا يجعله شغوفا بالعمل أكثر، سواء على ويكيبيديا أو على مشاريع أخرى.
إذا نحن مع هذا المقترح ونعمل عليه، بما أن الحاضرات أيضا نحن جميعا نشيطات وأصحاب مبادرات، فالمقترح مقبول. ننتقل للنقطة الثالثة مع ولاء. فرض برنامج تدريبي على إداريي المشاريع حول ماذا؟ عن التعامل مع الأعضاء الجدد ومهارات التواصل والتأطير. ما رأيك بهذا المقترح سريعا ولاء؟
هي مبدئيا هي في سياسات جوه الويكي نفسها بتنظم التعامل بين الأشخاص، بين المستخدمين كلهم، مش فكرة إداري ومستخدم جديد. بس فكرة ان هو يبقى فيه تدريب للإداريين، يعني دي حتة communication skills مش موجودة قوي ومش فعالة ومش هتطبق من الآخر.
يعني نحن نحتاجها، وإذا اتفقنا أنه نحن نحتاج هذا
التغيير. هي في سياسة بتحكم التعامل بين الأشخاص.
صحيح.
بس
اوكي.
لازم احنا لازم نبقى على يقين ان ويكيبيديا مش السوشيال ميديا. ده الاختلاف اللي هم عشان كده بيحسوا ان الاداريين بعبع او صعبين.
اوكي، شكرا جزيلا. وصلنا نحن للفقرة الختامية لليوم. إذا أعتقد أن هناك الكثير مما يجب علينا العمل عليه في كافة المجالات. صدقا أفكر بالتفرغ كليا لهذا الهدف. كان هذا الجواب إحدى المشاركات على خاتمة الاستبيان عن رؤيتهن لمستقبلهم في عالم ويكيميديا. منهن من ذكرت خططا تطمح لتحقيقها وترغب بالتوسيع نطاق مساهماتها. الغالبية يؤكدن رغبتهن بالبقاء والاستمرار والمحاولة. جميع المشاركات عدا مشاركة واحدة تنصح الآخرين بالانضمام لهذا المكان والمساهمة فيه، على أمل أن تلاقي في هذا المكان الروح والرغبة في التطوع والمزيد من التسهيلات والتعاون. جزيل الشكر للمتحدثات وشكرا للمشاركات في الاستبيان، وأوجه شكر خاص للإدارية شيماء لتزويدها لي بأرقام ونسب في ويكيبيديا العربية. شكر للأستاذة إيناس خطيب للروابط والنقاشات، وأيضا شكر خاص للدكتورة ندى الفرة لمساعدتها على مراجعة محتوى الجلسة وتثبيت نون النسوة بصورة صحيحة. أمل أني نجحت في هذا الامتحان. كانت هذه الجلسة الحوارية مبادرة لتسليط الضوء خطوة بسيطة على أنفسنا وعلى وضعنا نحن المستخدمات في المجتمعات العربية في حركة ويكيميديا. دمتم بخير.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this session about Southpedia.wiki, a new tool to listen to Wikipedia using QR codes. First of all, a quick presentation about myself. So my name is Yemen. I'm from Tunisia. I am the co-founder of Wikimedia Tunisia and the Wiki World Heritage User Group, and the co-founder of the Wiki Conference Wiki Arabia. So today we are going to talk about Queerpedia and we'll see the new solution. So as you may know, Queerpedia was a project for a mobile web-based system that used QR codes to deliver Wikipedia articles to users in their preferred language. Queerpedia was conceived by Roger Bumpkin, a Wikipedia volunteer from UK, coded by Terence Hidden, and unveiled in April 2011. So basically, Queerpedia server uses Wikipedia API to determine whether there is a version of the specified Wikipedia article in the language used by the device. So we scan a QR code, and based on the language of the device, the Queerpedia system will will open the Wikipedia page in that language. So this was very useful, and it has been used in museums, in Islamic institutions, historical cities, like we can see here, the project in Tunisia, in the Medina, at the old city of Tunis, used also in cemeteries. So it was a very useful tool, and still very useful tool. Nevertheless, in some occasion, listening to the article can be better than reading, especially for someone moving around. So for example, if you are in historical city or museum, instead of reading the Wikipedia article, maybe it's better to listen to it. So from this came the idea of Southpedia.wiki. So what is Southpedia? So Southpedia is a generated QR code for Wikipedia article. Will be related to a monument, museum collection, to anything that has a Wikipedia page. That once scanned by a mobile device allows the user to listen to the Wikipedia page, if available, in the mobile phone language. So in more details, the tool is deployed on toolforge.org and allow the generation of QR code related to Wikipedia article that once scanned will fetch the Wikidata item for that article and then open, if available, the audio file from comments for the Wikipedia article using the Wikidata property P989 spoken text audio. If there is no pre-recorded audio on comments, Southpedia will generate an audio from the lead of the main entrance of the Wikipedia article using GTSS text-to-speech system. The project was a joint development project between Wikimedia Tunisia, Wiki World Heritage, and data engineering and semantic research from University of Sfax. And myself and my friend Hossein worked on this project for this beta version. So let's try it. So for example, we have these very famous mosaics in the National Bardo Museum in Tunisia, depicting the poet Virgil. So this mosaics has Wikipedia articles in French, in English, and on Wikidata, we were able to link pre-recorded audio file that have been uploaded on Commons, one in French and one in English, using the property spoken text audio 989 on Wikidata. Using Southpedia, we can generate one QR code. So as you can see it on the right-hand side of the slide. This QR code, if you scan it, if your phone is in English, then you listen to the Wikipedia article in English. If your phone is in French, then it will listen to the Wikipedia in French. If there is an article in Arabic and your phone uses Arabic language, then you will listen to the Wikipedia article in Arabic. Whether you will listen to a pre-recorded file that has been uploaded on Commons or text to speech generated automatically by the system. So you can, if you have, currently it's working fine on Android mobiles, so with some issues on the mobile phones. If you have some Android, you can check this. You can scan this code and then you will listen to the article. I will give you seconds to, if you try to scan the QR code. So this tool can be very useful, for example, to use your phone as an audio device in a museum, in a historical city, to scan the QR codes for monuments, for mosaics or paintings or statues, and listening to their related Wikipedia articles. The goal of this tool, of course, to provide a better experience to the user who is going to scan the QR code, but also it can be also motivation to generate more Wikipedia articles, to generate more pre-recorded audio files on Commons. So it will motivate the community to work and to produce more content. So it has double goal: one for the community to produce more content, Wikipedia audio files, and a better experience to the user who's going to scan these QR codes and to listen to the Wikipedia article. What is next? For example, we can also improve the tool to be based on augmented reality. So one of the limitation of the Southpedia, it's based on QR code. So it requires that there is a generated QR code that we need to place in front of the monument or in the museum. But using the augmented reality, it's possible that the system detect the monument or detect the piece exposed in the museum, and then trigger automatically the audio file related to the Wikipedia article. So this can be a next step to improve the tool. Thank you very much. If you have questions, I would be happy to answer them. So again, just to this tool is inspired from Wikipedia and has the advantage to be multilingual. So using one QR code, it's possible to listen to different language, to different article in different languages. It can be in English, in French, in Chinese, in Spanish. So of course, will require that we need to create a Wikipedia article, and this is a motivation for the community to work and document the monuments and the museums. So there is a question. It's work wonderful in English. However, there is a problem with the other languages. So for the other languages, I think the problem when there is no audio file on Commons. For a better experience, it's good to pre-record the Wikipedia articles and to upload it in Commons. Recording a Wikipedia article and upload to Commons can be used by Southpedia, but can be also used by other people who cannot read correctly the Wikipedia article, so they can listen to it. So also it's a motivation to provide more audio content on Commons as well. So the problem can happen when there is no pre-recorded audio files on Commons. So the system will try to generate text-to-speech audio file, and this can of course, it's automatic generation, so we can have some issues. But if you are going to use this tool in a project in a museum or in a World Heritage City, so the community will try to document all the monuments and record the articles and upload them on Commons and make these audio files available for everyone. And it can be also collaboration with the blind wiki user group, for example, to record these audio files as well. So I would like to thank my friend Hossein for working on this project together. And we'll hope to keep working on it, improve it, and to also integrate the augmented reality feature, so we don't need to generate QR codes anymore, and the system will be able to detect automatically the monuments or the exposed collection in the museum. So thank you very much. Thank you for all the team behind Wikimania, the COT team, and all the volunteer and the production team for this opportunity. And goodbye.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us this evening, if you're in that time zone, or afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to the final in the series of Movement Strategy Implementation Lightning Talks. In our session today, we have 3 speakers. I will call out our speakers. Please just raise your hand and wave when I mention your name. Anthony is joining us today. He'll be speaking. Hello, Anthony. Just wave. Good. Also joining us today is Mali from Wikimedia Norway. Mali, please wave. And also Nikki is joining us from Wikimedia Deutschland. Wave, Nikki. Anthony is joining us from Wikimedia Tanzania user group. In our session today, you'll listen to our speakers talk about their ongoing projects. They'll be speaking about their movement strategy projects. These are projects that are happening across various communities currently, and these are super tangible projects. You might have asked yourself the question, if movement strategy is happening, what does it look like and what does it actually mean? So in the session today, you'll hear about people who are leading or co-leading on these projects, and you'll also learn about what movement strategy actually means in very practical terms. Listen out for thoughts that our speakers will be sharing as they share about future goals and projects. This is where you might find some inspiration or where you might find opportunities to connect, collaborate, or even develop some ideas for projects within your own community. Some quick reminders that as you're listening and something comes to mind, if there's anything you'd like to ask our speakers today, please drop the question in chat. And when the speaker's done, we will ask the question, or we will raise the question at the end of the session. Each speaker will share their project challenges, learnings, and future goals. So feel free, yes, as they're speaking, to drop in your questions. Without further ado, we'll go to our first speaker in this session. This is Anthony. Anthony, over to you.
Thank you so much, Yop. As Yop introduced me, my name is Anthony Mtavangu from the Wikimedia community, user in Tanzania. And my little background is that I joined the Wikimedia movement like 6 years ago. And for this time, I have been working together or collaboratively with other East African Wikimedians. In case you're wondering what are the East African Wikimedians communities, we are about 11 countries. Geographically, they are together, and some of them are near to the East Africa region, so we term them as East African Wiki communities. And this includes Tanzania, Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, South Sudan, Ethiopia, Somalia, Zambia, Botswana, Congo, and others. So when I joined the Wikimedia movement, and after realizing that there is this community within our region, I realized the challenge is we lack the collaboration and the coordination among ourselves in regard to collaboration in doing Wikimedia Foundation projects. So next slide, Cornelius. Yes, so the challenges that I saw and we saw and we are trying to solve or address is community building. You know, in our region we have, like as I said, like 11 countries or 11 wiki communities, but only 3 of them are the recognized user groups, which is Tanzania, Uganda, and the Congo. So we saw there was an equity in different scenarios, such as capacity building and resources distribution among these communities. So we decided to work together. And in 2019, 2 scenarios happened. We had an in-person capacity building in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. And the same year, we met for
Movement Strategy Summit in Kampala, Uganda. That's where we now started like coming together. Okay, guys, we have to unite and explore some common challenges that we can solve together. So also we identified some resources that can help us to solve the issue of underrepresented languages in our community or in our region. Currently, we have Swahili, which is a unifying language that most of these communities they do speak. But still, we have other languages that are not well represented on the wiki platforms. So we are working together using Swahili as a unifying language to make sure that other languages as well that are underrepresented are being digitized. So is that in relation to movement strategy, we are trying to experiment with new methods of community engagement, which is the establishment of East African regional and thematic hub. Regional meaning geographically we are somewhat located in a same area plus the nearby countries. Also thematic for the sense that we have a unified language, which is the Swahili. At the same time, we thought there is a need to gather around languages. Okay, next slide. Yes, so what we learned from working with these communities was that speakers of endangered languages have different ways of speaking and writing. So sometimes it's difficult to engage them collaboratively. So we are trying to reach each community individually through this project, which is East African Regional and Thematic Hub, trying to understand what are the basic needs, what are the basic problems these communities are facing in areas. Also, the unstandardized languages have different varieties that are difficult to deal with. Sometimes when we are crying like, okay, these communities are not represented in languages, these languages sometimes they do lack, written materials that can be used to digitize them. Also, there are our fellow community members, users of sign languages. Sometimes we are like difficult to engage them in one or two of the wiki activities. Next slide. Next slide, Cornelius. Yes, so our future goals and the projects that we are working on is we are trying to bridge the content gap. And this is, we are working in the area of innovating in free knowledge to see what are the basic level of new ways that we can come up with to tackle the problem of lack of content on our local African languages as well as on Swahili Wikipedia. So we are trying to break the participation barriers from the underrepresented communities by having a structure that acts as an umbrella for all of us to learn, share knowledge, share resources, and so on. Also, we are trying to see what are the topics that really matters to our region, and as well as I said, innovate in free knowledge, allow people to come with new innovative ways how we can solve our problems in our region, East Africa. Next slide. Yes, so that's in a nutshell. That's what I can say, and that's what we are doing in East Africa currently. And just to finalize, our project currently is on the phase of planning and research. We want to investigate more. We want to do some more detailed research to understand whether the people in East Africa
being called the East African Regional Thematic Hub, and what do they think, whether it can be a solution to their problems. So if you will have some questions, I'll be happy to answer later. I can end here for now. Thank you. Back to you, Yop.
Thank you very much, Anthony. Definitely interesting to hear what's coming out of the research at the moment and how you are planning to engage with the communities further down the line. It would be nice to see how the East Africa group or the East Africa region sort of comes together at a later point and what people end up prioritizing. I do have a question, but we'll save that for the end of the session. For everyone who's listening, don't forget, while a speaker is speaking, you can drop in your question, and I'll ask those questions when they're done. There are no questions that I see in the chat at the moment, so we'll go straight to our next speaker, and that is Nikki. Nikki, over to you.
Thank you, Yop. Thanks for the opportunity to share today. And I am working as part of the Movement Strategy and Global Relations team at Wikimedia Germany. And in that capacity, I contributed to the project that we are talking about today. And that project is called the Capacity Exchange. Can you go to the next slide? Thank you. So the Capacity Exchange is a project which right now is being looked at for doing in Europe, but we're also, the concept can be used anywhere and it can be scaled to any region or in fact to the entire Wikimedia movement at some point. So the idea was developed in response, or basically comes out of the movement strategy recommendation number 6, where it says, develop a peer matching platform so people can exchange capacities with each other. And capacities here means skills, knowledge, resources, all kinds of things that you as a comedian may have, know, or have access to, that another Wikimedian might benefit from. So the idea is really that the wisdom and the experience and the knowledge is in the movement, and we just need to find ways to find it from somewhere. And the way that we're trying to do that is by creating a platform. Sorry, I'm dealing with a cat here that's being very obnoxious. Say hi, Kitty. So the idea is to have a platform where you can go on and you can enter your information. You can enter a profile, just like the platforms, and then you add things that you want to share with people in the movement, and then vice versa. That is searchable by people who are looking for things, for knowledge, for tools, for templates, for maybe a coach or a mentor, or a grant writer, for example. So basically, the exchange facilitates finding each other, and then what happens after that? We haven't really thought about that part yet too much, but what happens after that is basically up to the people, so they can support each other. So where we are at right now with this project is we have created what software developers call a minimum viable product. So we have used an existing software platform that was called the Open Educational Resources World Map, and have just changed the categories and the words and some of the interfaces in it. It's on our own cloud, Wikimedia cloud. And we're like this close to having users test it. We still have to do a few things and a few translations, but definitely 2 weeks from now, we'll have a smaller user group test it. And then we also have a little clinic at the Wikimedia Summit in September where other people can test it. And that we do that so we can receive some feedback both on how does it work, does it make sense, does it feel all right, and also so sort of user experience feedback as well as feedback on content and on categories that are in the platform. Once we receive that feedback, I think we see the project moving to a next stage where we will probably need some more software development, improve it, make it better, launch it for basically all Wikimedians who want to try using it, and finding a fiscal home for this next phase. So that's currently our challenge, is to find an affiliate who would like to be the applicant for a movement strategy implementation grant and take this to the next level. And that seems to be harder than we thought to find that affiliate. But we really feel like the next phases should be staffed, so there should be somebody taking care of the project. And we can no longer do it with a group of volunteers or people who have very limited amount of time to put into this. Now you can go to the next slide. Oh, this is our logic model. So I'm not going to walk you through that because you're going to have a headache, and it's like really small on this too. But you can find that logic model and other information about the capacity exchange and how to contact us on our meta page, of course. And if you would like to be part of the test user group, we'd love to welcome you. We have like a session for that on August 26th. So send us a note and we'll add you to the test user group. So challenges, I wasn't sure if this question was about the challenges we're trying to address with our project or the challenges that we're trying to face, that we're facing as we're trying to do this project. So, but one challenge that we definitely see, and that also has been discussed during movement strategy, during the writing of the recommendations, is can we get people in the movement to use a platform that is not Meta? Full well knowing that Meta does not have the features that we are looking for in this platform. We're looking for more interactive features and a certain level of curation as well. So it's not this project, we don't see it happening on a wiki because we want it to be searchable. We want people to be findable. And so for a number of reasons, and also because during movement strategy formation, a lot of people who provided input into the skills and leadership development topics said, please use something else. Let's not use Meta for this. The same goes for the knowledge base. That's also part of strategy recommendation 6. So we're sticking our head out that window and going to see if people will accept the not Meta thing that we're doing. And again, another challenge is finding a temporary home for the project. So like a fiscal sponsor, somebody who wants to write that grant and administer and incubate it, so to speak, through the next phase. So if you are running a chapter, wink, wink, to Norway, and you want to run this project for the next couple of years before then, I see it, and that's just my vision, but I see it being added to a hub at some point or becoming part of a capacity building hub. So I see this next phase as a temporary phase as well. So that's basically what I wanted to share with you today. If you're coming to the Wikimedia Summit, please join our testers. If you want to do that before August 26th, send us a message through our meta page. And we're super excited testing this project and seeing if it can help really sort of build the social capital and build mutual aid and solidarity and connections across our movement, so we can really become a movement where people have an opportunity to support each other. Thank you. Oh, what have I learned? Duh. Okay. there's only so much you can achieve as volunteers. That's basically, I said this, we're a small group of volunteers, Wikimedia Ireland, Wikimedia Netherlands, Croatia, and Germany. And at this point, we need to move the project onto a more solid footing. And so we need to be clear about the resources for the next phase of the project. But this is all sort of project mechanics. What's important is that we try this and that Wikimedians make use of it. Thank you. Now I'm done.
All right. Thank you very much, Nikki. This is an interesting project. And, I did get the opportunity to look through the diagram that was too tiny and complicated. But for anyone who's interested, I would say take the time to look through that diagram. It's a really interesting theory of change, is the way I would put it. Nikki, would you agree? It's a really interesting theory of change. I think anyone would do well to take a good look at it, especially if you're sort of interested in skills, in capacity exchange at some level, and interested in seeing how your communities can find the best tools and resources to build their own capacities, and see how that would work, taking a systems lens approach within the movement. Thank you very much, Nikki, for sharing that. We will, do we have any questions? I think we do have one question here.
There's one question from Tila. Can you read it, or should I read it out for you?
Oh, it's super tiny here, so you can read it out.
I think I can read it. I zoomed in. I found the trick on Feedloo. You can zoom during a session. So the question, Nikki, is regarding not using Meta for their project. Could MS Forum be useful for you in any way? And if yes, how?
I think not, because it's a different animal. I think MS Forum is a forum for conversation, whereas the capacity exchange is basically a database. So it's a database of people and organizations and skills and resources. And so in that sense, it's not a social network. I think I can see it, being complementary to the forum for sure, and being complementary to the knowledge base, whoever is going to hopefully build that in the near future. But yeah, I don't, unless the forum has like secret magic powers that I haven't figured out yet. But what we're really looking at is creating a database.
All right. Thank you. Secret magic powers to the MS Forum. Let's add that to platform upgrades, please. Thank you very much, Nikki, for sharing. And without any further questions on queue at the moment, we'll go to our last but definitely not the least speaker in the section. Mali, over to you.
Hello. Thank you, Job. Thank you for the introduction. And I just want to start with Nikki. I will follow up on that. We'll definitely sign up for the user group. It sounds very interesting. But for now, my name is Mali. I'm from Wikimedia Norge, and today I am gonna present to you the Language Diversity Hub project. So you can go to the next slide, please. We launched the idea of the Language Diversity Hub last year, and without really knowing what a hub is or going to be or what it is, and maybe it will totally change the name, it's not so important. What we have seen for a long time, and not only we in Wikimedia Norge, when I say we are a group of many people from different language communities that has been involved in the small and the new language versions of Wikipedia. And what has been clear for a long time is that there are challenges, there are barriers. It's difficult to be a small language, and especially an indigenous language with all the extra you might have in the history. So there is a need in the movement to take care of those languages. And when the movement strategy initiatives came and the hubs was a part of that, that is like an open door, we grasped it. So the language diversity hub might be something else than a hub, but for now we're using that name, just to have that clear. If you want to know more, we had actually a presentation earlier today in one of the other tents. It was my colleague Jon Harald and also Sadiq presenting, and they will go more deep into the research we are into. But last year, we applied for a movement strategy implementation grant, and we have this enormous ambition of being a fantastic support structure to make it easy for small languages to have their own Wikipedia. But to get there, we kind of have to know what their problems are. So we decided we want to identify what the small languages thinks of as barriers when they are trying to use Wikipedia. And to do that, we decided, well, we have to talk to them. So we are doing 13 group interviews, with 13 different language communities that we have specifically chosen for this purpose, and to make them tell us in their own words what is difficult. Or not only what is difficult, but what is working. We want to talk to them about their motivations. We want to understand how is the process that they write in Wikipedia. Through this, we hope to find specific technical barriers that we can solve, hopefully quite quickly. We hope to find things where we can make one solution that fits many, and we hope that we might find that someone has solved something in one corner of the world, and that solution can be shared amongst others, because that is when we are a hub. Because in the end, the hub is bridges, and multiple bridges where traffic and information flows freely. So this very much resonates with what Nikki has been talking about, that we are, and I wrote down what you said, we have so much knowledge and wisdom in this movement, but we don't know how to make it flow well to the ones who really needs it. And with all the language barriers that are between those smaller language communities, the flow is even harder. So that's it. Challenges. We want to see the barriers that are limiting smaller language communities to really thrive on Wikipedia, to really use those fantastic tools that we have. We want to explore how we can be a hub, a multilingual hub, moving between all the continents and all these languages. And of course, we want to work towards knowledge equity and equity in decision making. We want to make the money also flow towards where it needed, so it can be used in the way that is best for the communities, in whatever ways we can do that. So of course, everything that Anthony was saying earlier today is we are so many actually working with the same issues, but we are on so many different levels, and that is definitely also a challenge. We are trying to be a part of the solution here. How can all of us that are working with the same thing come together and build the same bridge, instead of building many small bridges and not knowing about each other? Yes, please, the next slide. And I'm sorry if I'm talking too fast. I have a tendency to do that. What have we learned? Well, we haven't gotten too many research results or interviews back yet, so I don't have any concrete problems that we are going to fix. But what we have definitely learned is that there are so many other groups thinking the same thoughts, working towards, wanting something like this language diversity hub. And we see that we have to do a lot of work aligning to make sure that everyone is included, and to make sure that everybody hears about us too. So we are not establishing tons of similar structures when we could actually work together. We are getting good feedback. So we are sure that a structure like the Language Diversity Hub is needed. But of course, we are very open to develop it further. And of course, that is what this grant is about. So we are very open for everyone who wants to join, for everyone who wants to tell us, share an idea. Yeah. We have one more collaboration going on with Wikitongues. So we have gotten a grant together with them. And I want to invite others who want to do projects and are not sure how to do it alone to contact us, and maybe we can do stuff together. Yeah, because collaboration is a key here. Can you move on, please? Yes. So the first project, the first goal here now is to be a loudspeaker, an amplifier. I feel, especially in the beginning of this process, that it was very common to say, we have this problem, we have put it in Fabricator, we have been saying this needs to be fixed, and no one listens. It doesn't come through, it's not prioritized because maybe it's a tiny little group or a person that don't know enough people that are saying it, and they don't come through. So we hope that we can be that kind of amplifier to put all the voices together to make sure that the technological solutions are being prioritized to make changes faster to suit the smaller language communities. I have called it short-term and long-term. It might be the wrong terminology, but at least a short-term goal is to be bridging the gaps in content, bridging the gaps in participation for wiki projects by finding solutions to make more people being able to participate. So that is something that we are working on, that we will be working on all the time, and more when we actually know what might be limiting for people. The long-term goal with this whole project is that it's an independent structure. We are many, and I'm not going to start naming names because I'm afraid to forget someone, but we have handpicked like an interim steering committee last year after we organized the Arctic Nuts conference. We have chosen people who have knowledge, who have passion, who have a track record, who have worked with language diversity for a while. So we knew they knew a lot, and they had issues, they had things they wanted to be fixed. So they have already been saying this needs to be done, this needs to be done. And the long-term goal is that Wikimedia Norge is not going to be the horse pulling this wagon. It's an independent unit within our movement that is governed by good democratic structures as a proper Wikimedia something. So it's an honor to be in a tiny little affiliate up here in the north, not so cold at the moment, but colder than most of the world. And to be able to pull this forward, like Cornelius was mentioning earlier, this is an important thing for our movement. And I look forward to set the sails and see more people aboard and see where we are going to reach. Yes, I think that was all for me, Job. Thanks you for listening, and I look forward for questions.
Thank you very much as well, Mali. Thank you so much. Your work is always super interesting and always definitely interesting to learn what you're learning as you're speaking and engaging in our communities. I'm looking in the chat. Do we have any questions? I see one from Tilla. Is that a question? Oh, okay. Tilla just added some more information for those who might be interested. Right. So we have 15 minutes left to go in the session today. I do have a few questions, and don't forget, you can drop questions in the chat for our speakers. I'll come back to you, Anthony, from what you shared earlier on. While you shared about what you were learning, I'm curious if there are any further insights on the users of sign language. You mentioned that they're difficult to engage with. Are there is there anything that you're finding are there any pieces that are coming through? It doesn't have to be. Hello, Anthony, did you get my question?
Sorry, Yop, I think there was a delay a bit. Can you repeat again?
Okay. So the question was about, from what you shared about what you're learning. You mentioned about insight. You mentioned something about users of sign language. I find often that sometimes we mention languages. Sign language is not on that list too often.
It's like Yop is breaking up. Is Yop just frozen for me, or is it all for you guys too? Okay.
For all of us. Anthony, did you get the question that she was trying to phrase?
No. Okay. Anyway, Yop said
She was asking about language speakers and why it is difficult to work with them and what you've learned about working with them.
All right. Thank you for the. Okay. So if Cornelius, can you rephrase again the question from Yop, because she did break at the end.
She found it very interesting. She was about to say that she was interested in the insights on the uses of sign language, and she said that you've mentioned that they're difficult to engage with. You have said this, and so do you have any ideas how to engage them in the wikis on Wiki?
All right. So as I said, one of the areas that we are seeking to work on through this project that we are doing currently, which is East African Regional and Thematic Hub, is trying to invest on the area of innovating in free knowledge. So the Wikimedia movement so far is trying hard to include everyone within this movement, irrespectively of the physical status or mental status or something. So it becomes something interesting to find out. I don't have answers yet, but this is one of the things that we want to find out through this project. Like, how do we bridge this knowledge, language gaps through these people who are not conversing with us through the traditional ways that we use? So what I can say is maybe after this project, we can come up with some ideas from people, from the community members, because that's what exactly we are going to do, engage them, listen to them, what are the problems facing the communities, and how they think this thing, the innovation or the regional and thematic hub can help them. So we are trying to find out. I don't have the clear answers for now, but it is what we are trying to find. How can we make everyone inclusive in this movement? I don't know if I did answer your question. And at some point, it's quite interesting. Yes, it's an additional point. You find that there is you want to include people, maybe let's say on wiki editathons, to create some content or something. But the problem is, how do you communicate with them? How do you teach them? We, the trainers ourselves, we don't know sign languages. And there is really a scarcity of these people who knows sign languages. But I hope and I have confidence that as we go, as long as we set some good environment for these people to be found to help us on these areas, someday, at some time, we can include them on this movement in any way. So let's stay tuned for that, for innovative ideas around that area. Thank you. Back to you, Yop.
Thank you, Anthony. Yes, it's like you said, we're all learning, and I've spoken, with a few people from other communities, for instance, Tony and Kirill, in Macedonia, trying to address a similar issue. I think my network is still a bit problematic, but if you can hear me, Cornelius, I know you have a question for Mali. Maybe you can ask that.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, the question I had was, I was interested how you, as a Wikimedia Norway, as an affiliate in the so-called global North in Europe, will ensure equity in your future hub structure when dealing with small language communities that, let's say, in the so-called global South. How do you manage the implicit or explicit power dynamics? Do you have an idea for that?
Yes. Yeah, it's a very it is a very good question, and it's a very it's something we are very mindful of constantly. So when we were putting together the steering committee, we were trying to, we were really looking to have a balance, gender, global South, different kinds of communities, and so I'm not sure if it can ever be perfect, but I think the most important is that to keep that constant. To keep asking ourselves who is not represented now, and who needs to be here, and who is not at the table, and be actively asking, because it's easy to become blind and say, hey, but we are doing a good job and this is fine. But we always have to be just asking the questions here, having the discussions within the group. And of course, we are a very privileged country up in the north, but an advantage is that we also are a pretty small language. We are good in English, so that's a huge advantage being in Norway, but we know how it is to be small in some parts. Nobody else speaks Norwegian. Why would they? We have 2 written languages in Norway, so we can always somehow know how it is to be kind of on the sideline, but we are so privileged in so many other ways, and we are trying to use that privilege to lift up the other voices. So I hope that it will not be me presenting this for many years in the future. We want others to be representing, and we have that. Yeah, it's a good question though, Cornelius.
No, thank you. I hope that share more next year's Wikimania. Like, interesting to see if you could, besides the work on the hub, share these reflections on that level, on that question, because I think that's something many others can learn from. So, back to you. Sorry. I think you're muted, Job.
Okay. Sorry about that. I was saying, yes, the conversation is super interesting. So it was nice to listen to you both, and interesting thoughts there, Mali. John, who's in the chat, says there's a test Wikipedia in American Sign Language in the Wikimedia incubator, and there's a link there. It would be good for. By the way, Jan works with is co-project partner with Mali on this project, so he's sharing some more updates from the project. I do have a question now for you, Nikki. This is just regarding the next and the plans for the capacity exchange program, you put out a call to action for affiliates that might be interested in taking this forward. So I'm curious, while I know Mali has said yes, for others who might be interested, what might an affiliate consider or take to, like, what are the criteria? What would be needed? What kinds of capacities might be needed to implement this work? And besides perhaps interest, yeah. But what are you looking out for? And what do you think an affiliate should think about if they think of taking this forward?
Yeah, I mean, we're certainly open to anyone who feels passionate about capacity building and wants to take this forward. I'm hoping that we can find an affiliate with staffing capacity. So one of the things we talked about in the capacity building working group is that capacity building initiatives for the Wikimedia movement are always so fleeting, and they're never sustainably funded, and they're never sustained. And somebody does something on Meta, and then some people fill it out, and then it's gone again. And so there was a very strong sentiment that this needs to be sustainably funded. And for me, part of that is also sustainably staffed. So a person who's more than a contractor, but a person who has some job security through the funding and has, maybe a 2-year time frame to take it to the next level. That would be ideal. Obviously, we can't always have ideal, so we'll see what happens. But I'd like to see that sort of sustainability and continuity and stability, mostly, I guess, for the next phase of the project. And so an affiliate who has the ability to hire a person and pay benefits and sustain this project for a couple of years.
All right. Okay. Sustainability and making sure that this can be handled for the next couple of years. I would, we have about 2 minutes to go, and we're about wrapping up on this. We'll just sort of throw out something open to our speakers today. If there's, Mali, if there's anything you'd like to, based on the conversation so far and what you shared.
Yeah, I want to pick up this on sustainability from Nikki, because that is one of the things we see, that when we as an affiliate can push this language hub forward, we secure that sustainability for a while to get it going. So for other initiatives, I see that, that is a huge advantage that we have, and we are very grateful and very conscious. And I see that, for other strategies as important, super important to secure that. So I hope you find it.
Thanks, I'm sure.
And please contact us.
Absolutely. And Anthony, before we
Yes,
wrap up.
thank you. Thank you, Yop. Yes, I have something to say. And this is one, thanks to my fellow colleagues who are the core team on organizing or working on East African Regional Thematic Hub, Douglas Isebagala and Winnie Kabinte. They have been supportive. Also to thank all communities that are involved, East African communities. I encourage them to be staying tuned for the upcoming research and the planning for this project. So thank you. That's all from me for now.
Thank you too, Anthony. And final words from you, Nikki?
Oh my God, the pressure. Thanks so much for the session. I want to thank the co-conspirators in this capacity exchange project, and I hope to have lots and lots of more join us. Thank you.
All right. Who's listened in today. The session slides will be uploaded on Commons and have been uploaded to the programs as well. Feel free to reach out to the Movement Strategy and Governance team to discuss any inspiring ideas you might have for your community. Thank you, Cornelius. Throwing out some questions. Has been my partner and support in all 3 lightning talk sessions, and I tell you, it wouldn't go as fantastically as it has gone without Cornelius. So thank you so much, Cornelius. He's the man and the voice behind the slides as well. Don't forget, you can also reach the Movement Strategy and Governance team. You can reach us via email at any time to discuss your ideas, discuss your plans that are related to movement strategy implementation. Thank you, everyone.